Hello everyone, my name is Joelle, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this 10-minute video for pain in the quadriceps and in the front of the thigh. If your knees are sensitive, you might want a little towel or a pillow for today, and we'll get started on our stomach. So you can either come to lie down with your forehead on top of your hands, so making a little pillow with your hands, or you might come into Sphinx pose with the elbows underneath the shoulder. And start by squeezing one quadriceps and pressing it into the floor, and then the other. So we're just making little rocking motions from left to right with the pelvis here, just warming up through our quadriceps. Our quads can get very tight from sitting at desks, and just remember never to force anything today. Just go at your own pace. And now let's flex the right foot, lift the quad up, and then place it back down. And switch sides. So flex one foot, lift the knee off the ground if you can, and then set it back down and switch sides. Just keep going here. So your knee might not actually leave the ground, and it's probably not going to leave by very much if it does. But again, we're just kind of waking up through that whole area, through the front of the leg, the side that's actually bothering us today, but also through the back of the leg, just to bring a little bit more balance here. Wonderful, and then take hold of that towel or pillow if you've got it, and we're just going to come to kneel on top of it, so coming to a tall kneeling position, rocking our hips underneath, and leaning backwards as far as you feel like you can, and this will really wake up your quadriceps if they weren't already. So we're just here for about 10 seconds, you can do it, and we're done. And now we'll stay on that right knee, keeping it on the towel if you've got one. And you can extend through that right foot and just press the hips forward until you feel a nice stretch in the quad. And you could either stay right there, or you could take hold of your left foot behind the back and kick that foot into the hand to stretch through the second set of quadriceps as well. But that's just an option. And now we can release that side. We'll come back into that tall kneeling position. So again, rock the pelvis under, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs, see if you can lean back a tiny bit further, and again, we're just here for 10 seconds, we've got this. Remember to smile, remember why we're here. And you can release. I bet 10 seconds never felt so long. It felt long to me too. And again, we'll come into that sort of gate pose variation here, so pressing our hips forward until we feel a nice stretch through the front of the left quadricep. And we could stay right here, or you might choose to take hold of the right foot behind the back and kick it into the right hand. And you can look up at the ceiling if that's comfortable in the neck, or again, you could just keep that foot on the floor. So as always, I encourage you to notice which stretches, which exercises feel best in your body, and you can come back to this sequence as often as you'd like. Beautiful work. So let's come back to a kneeling position. We'll step our right foot forward into kind of a proposal pose here. Imagine you were proposing marriage to somebody. And again, rock the pelvis underneath. So just by standing up tall here, or maybe leaning the upper body backwards just a tiny bit, you should already feel a pretty intense stretch in that left quadriceps. And you can feel an even stronger stretch most likely if you think about kicking the top of the left foot down into the ground. And now let's clasp the hands in front of the chest, and we're just going to twist towards the right and then back to center. Just little twisting motions here, going at your own pace, keeping the left glute squeezed, standing up tall here, and just noticing how that left quad is feeling. Steve Kaplan actually requested this quad pain video. Thank you, Steve. And he specifically requested one without deep knee flexion, so that's what we're doing today. And now we can just wiggle that right foot forward a little bit so we come into a longer lunge. And with the fingertips on the floor, we'll just rock forwards and back. So finding maybe some different angles here, maybe coming a little bit to the outside or to the inside, just stretching through different sections of our left quadriceps. If it's uncomfortable to bring the fingertips to the floor, you could also bring them up on yoga blocks or on books. And now let's just hold the stretch here. So you might keep your hands on blocks, you might keep the fingertips on the floor, or you could bring the hands up onto the front thigh. Think about dropping the hips a little bit closer to the ground. For extra bonus points, you can keep the glutes squeezed. Probably feel this through the hip flexors as well. Very closely linked to the quads. And then we can tuck the back toes under and we'll just lift into a high lunge. We're only here for 15 seconds, I promise. So think about pressing the left heel back towards the back of the room, keeping the right knee on top of the right ankle. A little bit of engagement in the abs. You can do it, you can do it. And then gently lower that back knee down. See, you did it. Good job. And now we can switch sides. I'm just going to move the towel back a little bit so I've got a tiny bit more space. So we'll come into proposal pose, stepping the left foot forward this time, rocking the pelvis underneath, squeezing the abs and the glutes, maybe leaning back just a tiny bit with the upper body so we feel the stretch in the right quad. So as I mentioned, today we're not going into very deep knee flexion with any of our poses, but on Thursday this week I'll be releasing a part 2 where we will get into some slightly deeper stretches that include deeper knee flexion to get even deeper into the quads and the hip flexors. And now we can bring the hands up in front of the chest and start twisting towards the left and back to center. So as soon as that video has been released on Thursday, I will link it down below, but do make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It's my first time trying this kind of 2-part series, so I would love to know in the comments below what you think of it and which exercises you found most helpful today. So please do let me know, and also leave me a comment if there are any other areas you'd like me to make a video for. So now we can wiggle that front foot forwards a little bit, and we'll just come into that rocking motion again. Again, looking maybe for those different angles. You might twist around a little bit to get at the outside of the quad or the inside of the quad. Just playing around, just noticing where you feel the most tightness or soreness or discomfort. And then once you've found that, let's just hold that position. So come into the posture where you feel the best stretch for today. You might twist around by being one set of fingertips on the ground, or you might bring both hands onto that front knee. Always breathing deeply here, sinking the hips a little bit lower with every out breath. And again, you could press the top of the right foot into the ground just to engage a little bit more through that right quadriceps. Great, and then we can tuck the back toes, press through the back heel to lift up into our high lunge. 10 seconds here, we've got this. Pressing back, thinking about the strength that we're building, remembering why we're here, thanking ourselves for taking these 10 minutes today to make ourselves feel better in our bodies and minds. Great job. Bring the knee back to the floor, and we can set that pillow off to the side. We won't need it anymore, and we're actually going to come onto our backs now. So make your way there, and once you've arrived, step the feet a little bit wider apart, so about the width of your yoga mat, and we're just going to drop both knees over to the left as we keep both shoulders to the ground. And you could close the eyes here. Notice your breath. Send your breath into kind of the outside of the right quadriceps, which is probably where most of us are feeling the stretch right now. And then we'll just gently rock over to the other side, bringing both knees towards the right. And this time sending the breath into the outer left quadriceps, inviting it to let go. Thanking our bodies for everything that they teach us and do for us every day. And then we can bring both knees back to center. We'll walk the feet in so they're right underneath the knees. And we'll just lift up into a bridge pose. So pressing down firmly through the heels, squeezing the glutes to lift a little bit higher. You could interlace the fingers underneath the back if you'd like. Pressing up tall, pressing, strengthening through our quadriceps in this last posture. Hold, hold, hold. And then you can very slowly bring the hips back down to the ground. Extend the feet out in front of you. Turn the palms up towards the sky. I hope if this sequence helped you today that you will hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe for 2 free videos every week. Remember that new one coming up on Thursday. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.